Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 270. Let's see who shows up. Alright, cool, we'll take this Kindred. We've already done a trial with Azir, surprisingly enough with Darius, and we haven't had a chance to play with Kindred yet. In my opinion, I think Kindred is going to be absolutely fantastic. It might take us a trial or two to really kind of get down the mixes of cards to really take full advantage of him. But this hero power is just the most one of the most ridiculous ones in the game, where you have the opportunity to just kill a unit every turn for no mana investment. And so, it does start off at the smallest one, but if you've killed off two of your opponent's units for free, then that's a pretty good deal. And it seems like we're starting with a pretty reasonable way to go about it. Glimpse Beyond, card advantage card. We're typically looking for one copy of in these, kind of kill your own units decks, and then Black Spear also playing to that theme. So I think that will be okay. I do want to give it Azir a few more goes. I don't think this is the strongest start for him, but we have already touched on Azir. We've ran Sivir twice, and so I'm excited to come out here and try Kindred as well. So let's take a moment. We'll get him pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar with it, it's ftpbus.com. It's where I keep all of my expedition-related content. The set reviews are coming along. The champion set review is out here. I should have the rares and the epics in the next couple days or so. This is always like a 10 to 15 hour adventure, and so without access to the cards early, it takes me a little bit of time to get these out here, but hopefully they're up and at it before your next expedition token is live. And then, of course, the tier list, I'm planning on having this out before the upcoming weekend, and so hopefully we can get this together again before your next expedition token comes out. But today we'll be over on the Expedition Helper section. We're just going to scroll down to Kindred and take a peek at what lives here. And so, in general, I mean, this seems like a fantastically powerful card pool. What we tend to see with this kind of like kill your own units theme is there's two other champions that really play towards it, right? There's Callista, and then there's Maokai. And, kind of, I think the big card that we're looking for across all of these Kindred decks is going to be Blighted Caretaker. I know it gives us a way to kill off a unit. It is going to, if the kind of awkward thing with the Blighted Caretaker is, if we play it before we attack, we're going to mark our opponent's weakest unit, and then that weakest unit is going to probably be something that we could have taken down with the saplings. And so there is, kind of like some awkward play to it. But what if, we just play Blighted Caretaker and then hook their next two largest units? Maybe we get to get a kill that way, damage something else, and, kind of be on our way um, to wiping out our opponent's board. And then even to the other degree, like, what if we just don't draw Kindred? And then to that end, Blighted Caretaker is fantastic. And so I think Blighted Caretaker will again be the key to this. He's always the key to the Callista decks. He's the only reason we ever want to be playing Maokai. And I think this will be pretty good. The other big thing that I think lives with this card pool, I can't decide if we want to make Hapless Aristocrat a checkmark or a star. Started out at a checkmark, but I feel like this has got to be moving up to a star really quick. Kind of with this kill your own units theme. The big thing that lives with this is just actually having a unit to kill. And so we do get a bit of help. There is the fading icon that comes into play and puts the smaller unit on the board. I think both him and Hapless Aristocrat are going to be the real keys to this deck, just to make sure that we always have something to sacrifice. We don't want to be in this spot to where, our only units on board are, say, like Kindred and a Neverglade Collector. Then we don't have anything to sacrifice. We have to be sacrificing real units at that point to try to take advantage of our combos. And so I do believe the Aristocrat and the Fading Icon will be super important here. They're, on the cheap side of the curve. So if we're, wanting to play as our unit killing card, say like a Chronicler of Ruin, then you get some value out of those, and we haven't had to really like gum up the top part of our curve. We don't really want it to be in a spot to where it's turn 6. We just played our Kindred on turn 5, and we have to put a 4-mana unit on the board just to have something to sacrifice. So ideally, these kind of cheaper cards will be what is kind of the engine to our deck. But otherwise, this should feel kind of like a control-y Callista. I think we've got the Black Spear that we need to take advantage of. This doesn't have the Ravenous Butcher and oh, who's he called? We can just click on Afterlife. Where are you at, Callista? Here we go. Yeah, the Cursed Keeper Ruinous Butcher kind of combo doesn't live here. Um, And my big concern with this Kindred card pool is, we see all the X's that we have popped up here on Callista. I'm afraid a lot of these bad cards are going to show up um, as our kind of like wild picks and synergy picks. And so that's my big worry with this card pool. I think it's going to be something pretty good. Otherwise, it has all of the tools that we really need for a successful deck. It has the good early game plays, has the removal spells, has a pretty powerful late game in both Kindred and Neverglade Collector. These dudes like the Ether Fiend are going to be completely fantastic. And so I think there's a lot of good going on here. It's just a matter of if we can get the right quantities of the cards that we need. So welcome to the party, Kindred. And then with our second one, interesting stuff, interesting stuff. And so I have kind of like two ideas with this. I actually do want to try this Hecarim with Azir. I think this is going to be extremely powerful at some point, especially when we see the Shark Chariot here as well. Just attacking with any unit, generating the Sand Soldier bringing back a Shark Chariot. I think this is going to be great. Or, the other piece of the Shadows and Dust deck is with Zed. And so I think if, we have say a Sparring Student on the board, the Sparring Student attacks and then Azir makes a Sand Soldier, it's a pretty, powerful set of combinations that we can get going between Shadows and Dust and Azir. But I don't think that's what we're going to be chasing down on this trial. My problem with the Sand Soldiers is if we're wanting to get the, kind of the slay bonuses, if we're wanting to kill our own units to get some kind of advantage, you can't really do it with the Sand Soldiers. There are some Sand Soldier cards that stay on the board, like with Dunekeeper, he summons the Sand Soldier, he stays out here, but it's kind of sketchy, right? With the Azir and then the 4-drop that makes the Sand Soldiers when you attack. I don't want to have to be playing cards mid-combat just to get a slay bonus. And so I don't think these are going to be that great, and I'm kind of interested in just staying completely in Shadow Isles. And seeing what we can put together. I think the big thing we'll need to see is if we're going to have ways to activate this Shark Chariot, because I know this Hecarim pool gets bad fast, and so within our pool here, we do have Sapling Toss. I think that's going to be about the only one. With Kindred, Blighted Caretaker makes saplings as well. So that's going to be kind of it as far as they go. But if we take a peek at the Hecarim, he does have a lot of the cards that we think are very important, and Blighted Caretaker, Neverglade Collector. Maybe we could get something going with this Ephemerals theme. I am kind of interested in trying this as well with the Sand Soldiers. Just giving all your Sand Soldiers +1/+1 should be a pretty good deal. But ideally, kind of the idea I have with taking Shadows and Dust Hecarim is we just kind of stay 100% in Shadow Isles, and then we catch a lot of the kill your own units theme in our kind of like wild picks. And so, if we've made it through pack 6, we're 100% Shadow Isles. They're going to just be showing us 3 Shadow Isles packs throughout the remainder of the draft, and hopefully we can kind of pick up some of these kill your own units themes that we're looking for. Certainly not looking for the likes of Pesky Spectre. We are going to be starting with one of these, but if we can get these Callista packs and these Maokai packs to kind of show up, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot here. And so it's kind of close. There are some cards within. Say fix this. It doesn't. It doesn't have the Shurima tag on the Ascension pool, but I think there are some reasonable combos here with Azir. I just don't think it's gonna pair out quite as well as we want with this Kindred. I don't even know who he pairs with on the other half of this pool. Nonetheless, I think this Hecarim will be okay. So let's see if we can't get these cards to work out well. Absolutely fantastic. Starting with the Aristocrat and the Fading Icon, just exactly what we're looking for here. Okay. Well, I mean, if we are going to jump into whatever this is, Shurima, this is the way to do it. Exhaust is an extremely powerful card. The more I play with Exhaust, the more and more that I like it. I think this is one of the better cards in the set, and this was kind of a sleeper. I initially thought this would be kind of at the bottom end of what we thought is good, and it just keeps impressing me more and more the more that we play it. And then, of course, Rampaging Bakai, very good stuff. Being able to come down, just kill off something, and then be able to still be a reasonable unit after the fact. My issue with taking these, though, is, we're going to plan on drafting 3 Kindreds. We're going to have a Hecarim already. If we end up picking up something like the Rekindler, then our top end is just going to be completely fleshed out. We would ideally have some Neverglade collectors in here, and I just want to make sure that our curve isn't abysmal. And so, I could ideally even see something to where, say we didn't have Hecarim, where we just played like 2 Kindreds and 2 Callistas or something, because our curve is just completely full at the top. Nonetheless, the kind of other topic that I was talking about while I wanted to stay 100% in Shadow Isles is showing up down here. This is a pretty kind of standard set for wild picks. You got something that fits to your off faction. You've got then 2 Shadow Isles packs, and this Warden's Prey Chronicler of Ruin is just full on exactly the kind of stuff that we're looking for with this kill your own units theme. So I think that's a pretty good pickup. And okay, man, I hate Vault of Crowns, but I think the Undying is going to be too good in this deck. Just having something that we can go and kill every turn. There is a lot of interesting stuff here. There's a Blighted Caretaker. This will be our first one. There's an Atrocity down here, which we are 100% going to want 1 copy of. And this Atrocity Black Spear is very powerful. I think objectively these are the most powerful cards, but we're never going to see another The Undying. This card being epic, we can't really count on any more of these showing up. And just having this permanent unit to play all of our sacrifice effects on is very, very powerful. Although I do not like Scribe of Sorrows in these style of decks. Okay, here's our last chance to branch away from Shadow Isles only. Unyielding Spirit is extremely powerful. I have to imagine putting Unyielding Spirit onto Kindred is pretty abysmal for your opponent, but I want to again stay in 100% Shadow Isles here, and so I think I'm going to take the Spear and the Chronicler. Our curve is getting a little bit out of hand. I don't really want any more Chroniclers after this point, but picking up the removal spells is always pretty good, and we're not going to have any combos for Fading Memories outside of the 1 Shark Chariot, and otherwise it's just putting it on some bad Last Breath units. Although, I mean, could arguably be picking up the Undying with Fading Memories. I think the Chronicler is probably just a little bit more important here. Okay, and then as much as I said we're never going to see more of the Undyings, they just show up again. So I'm completely on board with taking more of these. The Ethereal Remitter is a pretty kind of middling card, but it tends to play okay in these style of decks. And then over here, we would be looking for Crumble. I think Crumble is a fantastic play with Kindred. But again, I wasn't expecting more of the Undying, but I don't think he's a unit we want to let go. Okay, cool. Here's immediately the reason I was okay with that in the Vengeance. Vengeance is arguably worse than Crumble in this style of deck, but it's something that we're going to go out of our way to ensure that we have 1 copy of. And so these other cards aren't quite good enough to make us want to skip out on him. Okay, interesting little set. I think we're just kind of stuck taking Mask Mother. I'm not super excited about Mask Mother, but I mean, she does play reasonably well. I think I haven't played this yet. I'm pretty sure she does pick up the abilities of Hapless Aristocrat and Warden's Prey, and then we do need a bit of card advantage here as well with the Spirit Leech. And so these are all in all pretty powerful cards. Kind of hurts to pass on this big late game package, but our curve is so out of line at this point, I'm okay to let this go. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we'll see another Vengeance, another Crumble, and another Rekindler throughout the remainder of the trial, but hopefully it's at least one of these packs where we see like Vengeance with Mask Mother or the Rekindler with Mask Mother, where we aren't just annihilating our curve for the sake of picking up these 2 high quality cards. Okay, alright, well, not the most exciting of sets, but a removal spell with the Warden's Prey will be pretty fine. I do really like the Grasp of the Undyings in this style of deck, since we're going to be on the slower side of things. It's pretty tough. The only thing that should be able to late game better than us is Invokes, if we're able to get Kindred on the board and rolling. Okay, gotta stop and read these. I think I'm going to have a tough time passing on the Ether Fiend. I'm not sure what I think of Lamb's Respite. Giving the weakest ally I can't take damage or die this round, I don't know what we would actually want to play this on. Like, I'm not 100% certain on how like a lot of these abilities work. Like, I was thinking of it with the Undying, but didn't mention it. Like, if we put the Lamb's Respite, hits Warden's Prey, and then we play like 2 sacrifice effects on the Warden's Prey, I know that it doesn't die, but I don't know if we get like the slay effects from Kindred. And so not 100% sure how that plays out. I'm sure we can come in and mess this up at some point this trial, but this is our opportunity to at least give it a go. Okay, and these are slightly awkward. I'm sort of like okay with Gluttony. My problem with Gluttony is our biggest target for it is going to be the Undying, and then the Undying is 100% going to search up cards that we don't want to be summoning. And so I think it's kind of awkward here, and we don't really want any more Chronicler of Ruins, so we can let that go. So this is what I think we need is like the Go Hard Unspeakable Horror. I don't really like Go Hard unless we're playing Twisted Fate, so that we just have a bunch of ways to just churn through our deck. We really only have 2 ways to draw cards right now. The one Glimpse Beyond, the one Spirit Leech, and so it seems kind of weak. I think we're stuck just taking another Sapling Toss Spirit Leech. Okay, and then this pack's back again to say what up with the Vengeance and the Rekindler. I'm just going to take another Hapless Aristocrat. I think it's just way too important to have these early game plays. Okay, all right. So it's interesting. I don't think we need Stalking Shadows here. We have the one, what do you call it? Glimpse Beyond. We have the 2 Spirit Leeches. I think we have enough card advantage without taking the Stalking Shadows. But I think Mask Mother, she's probably not like super on point in this deck, but if this works like I think you do, where she copies Last Breath and you Mask Mother away a Warden's Prey, then she's a pretty big value engine. But, you know, even though we don't have the Blighted Caretakers I was hoping to pick up, I think we want to continue taking these Hapless Aristocrats. And alright, our last one, this is easy. We can get Pesky Spectre out of our deck for a removal spell. 100% easy choice here. So, okay, like, I think this has come together reasonably. I don't, 100% know how these decks play out. My other problem here is we might be, like, 1 card short on the top end. That's one of the problems you'll run into with these decks, to where, our plan is to have 4 expensive champions. We don't have that until the 3rd win, but you don't really want to mess up your curve up to that point. So, are we going to be weak now and then, hit our power spike with the 3rd champion, but then have a terrible curve? Or do we want to kind of roll the dice, not glut up our top end with expensive stuff, and then hope that we're able to make it? I think we could probably make it with this. These cards are extremely powerful. The 2 Undyings also play as kind of an expensive unit, so I think that's okay. But, the reason we stopped here is we do have to go and turn a card premium. I've been wanting to kind of like level up these newer cards, and I think that the Fading Icon will be a good choice here. He comes into play. He kind of checks all the boxes, right? He's a unit, so we get to hang out with him being premium all the time. He's a common, which is, of course, important for our pocketbooks, and then he generates another unit, which will become premium in the future. So I think he's a top-notch choice here. Let's take a peek. I probably have to... can't remember what he was called. Gonna have to do it the slow way. This thing, Shadow Isles. You could probably find it. Where's the faction? Is there not a faction button over here? This is tough. Man, you can tell I don't play much Constructed, not knowing how these things work. Where's this thing even at? Version show unowned. What? Cool, we've done it. Common. Empires of the Ascended. The region, Shadow Isles. There he is. Man, maybe I misclicked something. I don't know. Oh, no, we just have to craft him. Okay. All right. Decent at Expedition. Have, wood level collection manager. It's you can't be good at everything. But we did. If we got there in the end, let's get this going. All right. Yeah. I mean, I think we're okay. We have the early game that I like. We got like 3 Aristocrats. We got the 1 Slay thing that we just premiumed. We have a lot of the good Slay cards. We have ways to get card advantage from the card draw ones. We have some Chronicler of Ruins. I think that's good. I'm not quite sure if we made a mistake in not taking one of those Vengeance Rekindler packs. It feels like that would have really shored up our top end had we done so. But right, well, we certainly got the raw power in this one. It's Kindred Thresh. Wonder what his Freylord is. Ancient Evil kind of cards. I think we're good to go ahead and attack. The thing I want to do with this though is I don't want to be picking up a spider with our Scribe of Sorrows, and so if we can kill our Hapless Aristocrat, I'm okay with it. But I really don't want to be picking up the spider half of this. I don't think he's going to make us do it, but... Okay. Much better start for him than us. We play better against aggro decks than other control decks. Have to see if we can really get this engine going with Kindred. The worrisome thing here is we don't have a way to like immediately activate this Kindred as soon as we play it. And so let's at least do this. Let's let this happen. Oh, cool. I was gonna say we don't really have stuff going with this Spirit Leech. I don't want to just be like slamming units into Thresh. This is okay. There's how you activate your activate the stuff. But no, I think we have to come in. He does have the very good block with Omen Hawk onto Spirit Leech, but we need to keep his board whittled down for this Kindred. Okay. Reasonable. We can get our Kindred going on our next turn with the Mask Mother. Let's do this. Let's Sapling Toss. We need to spend a bit of money here. Scribe of Sorrows should be okay at this point. Didn't pick up Mask Mother, but that's okay. And now I think we're good to pass. Wraithcaller out of nowhere. Okay. So this Thresh is flipping this turn, but we should be able to deal with him next turn. It's not bringing out Tryndamere, is it? No, it's just Kindred? Okay. Then the thing I'm not... This is going to pick up Ephemeral here, right? That's kind of a bummer. A little bit of a downside. But are we okay with that? You have to see something Slay? Probably. That would make sense that we have to see the Slay before it comes down. But I think this is fine. He either gets like super cute here, and looks like he's going the super cute route. So I was gonna say we may not get a mark, which is okay. We might just find ourselves black spearing this Thresh, but if that keeps him from, you know, going all out on us, I think this is fine. We don't have to get the marks for this to be good. Oh, he just already drew his Kindred. Oh. Oh, hells yeah. I didn't even think that it was going to work that way. Nice. I was thinking that Slay had to be our own unit, so y'all have probably been sitting here the whole time being like, this dude's fucking dumb. But, right, so we don't have a particularly good answer for this Thresh now. Do we ever just want to Mask Mother the Kindred so that we have a you know, a 6/6 fearsome quick attack? Or do we just stop caring and just play Hecarim? this is our other choice in making a good Scribe of Sorrows, I think we could probably be happy with this. Kato still kind of looks like we have a a black spear or something with a board like this. So what is our sequence here? We can now Black Spear. That was a pretty good pickup. I was intending on just saving this Grasp of the Undying, because what I kind of feel like this attack is going to be is we're going to swing with these two units. He's going to put Thresh in front of Kato. He's going to put the Rekindler in front of the Remitter, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which way it pans out. And then we could just Grasp the Undying, whatever is going to block our Kato. But I think we're probably okay just to add Hecarim now. But if we want to get this Black Spear going in place of the Grasp, then we need to kill a unit. So, I mean, we could do Hapless Aristocrat, Spirit Leech, and Chronicler of Ruin, or at least just the Aristocrat Spirit Leech, but then we don't get the Overwhelms going. Seems kind of meh. I guess we can still Hecarim, we can Aristocrat, we can Mask Mother, and then just Black Spear something. I mean, this attack here plus the Grasp of the Undying seems pretty reasonable, depending on what he adds to the board. Okay, I think his board's going to be weak.
What's that noise?
Cool.
Don't be afraid. Start the story.
The two horsies, right? No. I think with the way he's spent now, we just need to kill one of these units. There's no reason to make it... Well, I guess there would be a reason to make it block. In that if it's in front of an Overwhelm, we can save the damage that way. Okay.
The mist will have you.
So how's this going to go? I think this is fine.
Such naivete.
Right, this will prevent 2, so it looks like he's... Assuming he doesn't move anything else around, that's going to get him to -3, and then we can pop the Rekindler. He has a Frostbite or something that gets him out of this, but I think this is a pretty decent spot. Okay. That's still pretty good for us, right? We've got a Hecarim, we've got a 3/3, we've got a unit back here that we can sacrifice to Spirit Leech. He is going to pick up a Flip Champion, but should be tough for that to be like an ultra relevant one. I don't want to downplay the that's not something good for him, but okay. Hey, who endures? That's not lethal yet. The thing that we'd have to worry about that attack is if he has the an atrocity. Oh Jesus, really, the Rekindler? Alright, here's the team. We're going to lose the horse this way, but we'd rather our Undying die if he's going to be blocking one of our small units. I don't think we're ever going to get the hit off of this. Or the flip onto Hecarim. We either win this turn or we don't. Yep. Which one did he sacrifice? His non? Can't get out of it with grasp. Okay. Well, I mean, I called it. That was the only way that we were going to lose that. But I mean, how much do you really want to, call out the chances on your opponent hitting hitting Callista with their one card, pulling back the that was a sequence for sure. Alrighty, but nonetheless, I don't think I'm going to like this Lamb's Respite. I think this is something that we kind of just want for Constructed. The Neverglade Collector is something, it is expensive, but it's one of these kind of late game cards that we'd really be okay with having. Granted, if our opponent I guess we could have just tried to block the Callista or something, or that would have prevented. We probably should have just done that. That would have prevented, if we would have put a block in front of Callista, prevented 5 from her, 4 from the Rekindler. The struggles. A major concern there was we needed to have a fully white board to make sure that we could get around all of his blockers, and that was the reason I didn't want to be just jumping in. Okay. Got the full raiding party here. I think I'm kind of okay with banking. We're just going to play the Undying. I want to have some amount of spell mana in these upcoming turns.
Time to get rich. You have to get me out of here.
I think we just want to be playing Black Spear. Our units do get kind of weak here. It's tough for him to have a unit that we'd prefer to kill over the Iron Ballista, and so this is fine.
You started without me.
Don't have ways to get ephemerals, so we should probably just bank again.
There's plenty of killing left.
Interesting. Because we want to be playing. I think we just passed this. We want to be playing Spirit Leech next turn, and I think we want all of our spell mana banked up. We could play it and just sacrifice the Undying with no intention of attacking. I think this is okay. Let's do this. He probably never blocks here. This seems fine, right? If we can start with the Spirit Leech. Ugh. Let's say if things get too scary, then we can just play the box instead of playing a Hapless Aristocrat. We can't have this thing just full clearing our board. Could. We'd be looking to take 6. We can play the Aristocrat that dies. We take the 6 from these two. Then his round start would happen before a sapling toss, right? I think I'm on board with this. Let's save the box.
Where are you?
Let's hope I'm not wrong on this sapling toss. He played his first, so his should go first, right? As long as we're just taking 6 here, I'm okay with it. It's not like he's playing Darius. Oh no. Like how are we supposed to know how that interaction works? Like, okay.
The dead don't need riches.
All right, let's see if we can recover.
That egg, did it move?
I mean, I don't think I'm wrong in assuming that all signs would point to his Ember Maiden happening first. His turn. He played the Ember Maiden first. Like how this decision making goes to where that happens before our card does when it says round start. It's one of the ultimately frustrating things about this game.
The chains, they never stop.
Okay, so we're gonna have to Ether Fiend this thing away. I'd rather save this for like a Sejuani. Maybe we don't have to.
The storm approaches.
This is at least scarier.
Only forgotten in time.
Okay, so I mean, I think we're okay. Our engine is kind of going. We're about to draw a bunch of cards.
Time to get rich.
Got blocks for all this stuff.
A wisp in the wind.
Okay, takes us to 1. We're in a scary spot. If he's got one of those powder monkeys or something, then we'll lose. But when another ally dies or last breaths, toss to 1. We don't need to toss to be getting him online. So let's start with the Undying. I'm gonna Spirit Leech our new one. Okay, okay. So we're repping lethal with our open. It's probably safer just to come out here and play more cards, but beautiful. Okay, so if he blocks Hecarim and blocks our big, we've got 7 plus 4. I think we have to just be okay with that. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm glad we didn't lose that one. That would have been a quick end to the trial, but that would have been quite a frustrating way to go with that atrocity play in the first one. Then, I mean, I don't know, with Ember Maiden. I have a lot of thoughts on what I would hope for with these games as to where, you know, there's never going to be like a rule book. And so the Oracle's Eye helps a lot, but at least on our turn, I wish that we could, like, you know, hold in a button and play a burst card, because that's ultimately pretty frustrating when, you know, you don't know how a burst is going to play out, and you just play it and then just kind of go, oh, okay, well, whatever. That at least, you know, covers a lot. I certainly don't have an answer for, like, what do we do when it's our opponent's turn and, you know, we don't know how an interaction works. How are we supposed to figure it out? But I don't know. I see a lot of these situations, and as, you know, someone that plays this game quite a bit, and someone that's played card games for, it's over 20 years now. It's ultimately pretty frustrating when the interactions like that aren't super intuitive. Like, I still don't even understand when, you know, when something says pick the strongest card, and, you know, there's a pair on the board and they have the same cost. Like, I still don't even understand how that works. And so, you know, for a game that's new and you're trying to pick up new players and, these like frustrating situations come about. I have hope that they just don't happen frequently enough that newer players are frustrated by it and alienated from the game. But nonetheless, things are moving forward. Okay, so we're gonna have to take this. I was hoping that we would get to fully bank into one of these black spear turns because this hand kind of sucks. This really showcases why I want to make sure that we have the hapless aristocrats and the fading icons. But hopefully he doesn't come out here too aggressively on us. Our hopes are being dashed. Maybe if he opens on us, this is okay, right? We've taken a pretty healthy chunk of damage, but then our engine is going to start going. Okay, okay. Right, we don't care that this thing gets vulnerable. I have a very good Blighted Caretaker next turn. We're going to have the 3 mana for the Black Spear behind the Caretaker. Make this hopefully be okay. There you are. Okay. Not expecting spiders out of him, but I think this is good for us. I still want to Black Spear the Ballista. We lost the kind of like bluff attempt into this attack since he can block our Caretaker with the Spiderling. So, probably not a huge fan of this. We could deal with a lot of his champions. Well, we could deal with Renekton. that's not a lot of his champions with this Black Spear that we have, but this is fine. Gotta keep checking for Darius. he's not there. There's no Darius over here.
See what we see, soldier.
At least give us something that can take down his ballista. And a Kindred with no combos. Okay.
The Emperor commands, the land obeys.
We just need time, and so we're gonna come in here and block all this stuff. Looks like we're gonna take 4 from the Sand Soldiers, 2 from the Ballista. Then his board is pretty whittled away. Seems like we should be safe from this point. Okay.
Always forward. Give them a chance.
Good, seems fine. You know, my big worry here is if they'd have a Darius, which he cannot.
Our son rises.
Okay, and then how much difference is there between adding Kindred and adding Hecarim? Because I'm just gonna block with Kindred if that's what it comes down to next turn, but I don't really want to have to block his Iron Ballista. I think it's probably fine.
Never one.
Without the other. As I live, all will die.
Okay, I'm not gonna swing with Kindred. It's too scary now. If he has any like negative attack card, then we're just completely hosed. And so, happy to just let it go this way.
Hours.
Okay, get around the negative attack cards now, but does that kill us? 2. Okay.
Slumber.
So, how greedy are we going to get here? I don't want to get too greedy. But, I mean, This should do it, right? Hang on. I keep forgetting how Slay works. I feel like we always need to like kill one of our own units with this, but we can just Black Spear down his, well, now his unit here, and this will just kill everything. Beautiful. And Hecarim's going to be our biggest damage source. This is lethal if we didn't draw a unit.
They always do.
There it is. Alright, good game, boys. Whew, that's a close one. Gotta remember that Slay counts for some of these cases. It's not just the killing our own units kind of thing. That's gonna take me forever to remember. But nonetheless, let's see what we can pick up here. I'm not a huge fan of the box, but we've had no issues with cards, and so I think I'd rather just have the kind of bad removal spell instead of Stalking Shadows. Kind of same here. We haven't had any issues with having cards to slay. The early game is where we're really struggling, so I think I just want to hang on to all of these. I would like to pick up a Crumble, but like things things start to fall apart if we don't have these Spirit Leeches to refill our hand. I think this is okay without a Crumble. I think if we were able to trade like the Sapling Toss for Crumble would take it, could trade the box for Crumble would take it. I like where our card advantage is at this point with the Glimpse, the 2 Spirit Leeches, and the sort of kind of maybe with the expensive guy, the Ether Fiend. And I don't really want to be trading our card advantage out and then trying to pick it up in the future for a card like Crumble. So I think this is okay to skip. Okay. Coming together. Give me the picture that said Jarvan had a 68% win. Jeez, bud. Alright, we gotta find some cheaper stuff than that. This is what worries me. Is I think we've taken like all the fading icons that we saw, but it feels like we need more Warden's Praise and Aristocrats. 5 is a lot. I think I'm going to just bank here. You know, he's not being aggressive either. It lets us keep our Black Spear mana up. And then if some of this stuff dies over the next couple turns, we can get the Aristocrat and the Scribe going.
Darkness hides my path.
Okay. Lulz. Okay, all seems reasonable.
Whatever the cost.
Just end up taking 2 here. He has an Unspeakable Horror. This is kind of bad, so maybe we should do it this way. So we at least take 1 less damage if the Unspeakable Horror is our Spirit Leech. Okay. Get our bro back. This is a reasonable spot to play a Scribe. I think I just want to get the Collector going. Once he's on board and all this other stuff's just rolling, it becomes so hard for a Nightfall deck to crush through. He does have an Aphelios. I thought he was stacked up on the other champions, but sure. We should have a better late game than him, assuming we could answer Aphelios. And with just 1 copy, I feel pretty good about that.
Lovely day for a battle.
Alright, let the ground begin. So I'm really thinking of here is killing off our Undying and
Forgive me.
yeah, this is a scary little board. It's killing off our Undying and seeing how we can catch up. Oh, we just caught up so fast. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Yeah, The Ether Fiend, should we need it. We have the Vengeance plus like a Black Spear if he has a big boy. I think this is looking good. Looking good. I think we need to actually come out and kill any of this. I don't really like getting 2 Undyings on board. It tends to just clog things up. Done with the Mist Wraiths, huh? Get in for that 6 chunk and then be done with them. Dirty. Okay. Probably just need to get some units on board. I don't. This is the awkward spot we'll run into these decks where I don't want to get the aristocrats on board at this stage of the game, and I don't want to get more Undyings on board. So we gotta just see how these cards start to fall. Pretty okay with just banking all this spell mana though. Technically, Grasp the Undying are Undying. I think we just keep that as an activator. We're not in any kind of hurry here.
For truth.
Okay, so that's good. Then what do we think about getting another Undying on the board? This is like the limit to where we can Blighted Caretaker units back onto the board. I think this is okay. This will be a full bank. Then we do have to kind of stop here. Things do get a little dangerous.
The moon approaches her zenith. May her silver light enshroud us.
Okay. Good. Priestess. I guess that makes sense. It's not a 7 cost expensive dude. Okay.
Everyone's a garden.
All right, this will just get our health right back on track. It's looking good. We got some kills on things if we need to with the Black Spear or the Vengeance. Play Mask Mother post combat if we need to. I dig it. I dig what's happening here.
The grove follows.
Hide no longer.
Look at that Neverglade Collector go. It's been so long since we've had these good ones. Okay. Don't quite want a Black Spear, and then we do know that we're gonna have Undyings come back. I don't. This is kind of risky. I don't exactly know how this play works. Grant the stats and keywords. So if we play this, it should get the Last Breath and the Can't Block, right? Oh man. Are those not keywords? Cool. We would have maybe played things a little differently had we known that. It's good to know that that's how this works in the sense of Last Breath. I thought Last Breath was a keyword. I guess. Let's see. If we're going to sit around and be salty about not knowing how cards work, I would assume that this is a keyword, right? This little thing here in the box that says can't block on it. I'm really surprised that this didn't pick that up. Grant me its stats and keywords. Maybe this should sort of say only grant me, positive keywords.
Return with interest.
Okay. And if we lose out on the Undying, pretty okay with it. It's not a big deal to have him fall. I think we should be good here. He's going to get some kind of hook onto Neverglade Collector, and we can protect it with either Black Spear or Vengeance, and then the rest of combat should just kind of fall in order. I guess he is at a health total to where we could just kill one of our own units. It's a little scary in the event that he has some kind of heal. Let's take the safe play with the Vengeance. If he has a a Targon spell shield, then whatever. But oh man, maybe we should put a lethal out in front of that other guy. Oops. I think it's okay. I don't think it's gonna matter. It's a little sloppy.
Onward forever.
A little sloppy, but we got through it. Okay. So who do we have here? We got another Kindred. Curious what we're supposed to be doing with Spirit's Journey. I get that there's, I guess, a few Spirit's Journeys, some of this other stuff. But, I get it. This should get us in a pretty good spot. I'd probably rather have the Crumble Rekindler, but gets us a second Caretaker, which should be a good number. Our third Kindred. I'm on board with what's happening here. Just cheaper stuff. That's all. That's all of our trials ever about to. So we just gotta say, man, just gotta get some cheaper stuff. Everything will be okay. But we made it this far. It makes me feel good. We didn't take a lot of top end. We just kind of let it come to us with the Kindreds. I think we're in a good spot. Okay, Sandra and Talia. Here come the landmarks. So it's like I have to imagine that our early game plays aren't going to be super fantastic against this guy. This seems like a reasonable start, right? Because a lot of the value of things like Hapless Aristocrat comes in, like shutting down their 3/1 for 1 mana kind of units. But if this guy's just going to play landmark cards on like turn 3 and turn 4, and then not actually have any units until turn 5 or so, a little awkward for us. I just have to open. It's still pretty easy for him to play another unit. Like they probably just let Warden's Praise through, but if we can't follow up with the Blighted Caretaker, then it worries me a little bit. Okay. I'd say welcome to the team, Shark Chariot. Okay, so we can do some stuff here. We're certainly getting Kindred down. We have a Glimpse Beyond to activate the Slay. We can hook his scary unit here. I think this is going to be a pretty decent go at it.
Embrace life.
Expect death.
Okay. When you kill a unit, okay, our opponent's stuff doesn't count as us killing units. Got it. There's no like positive aspects to attacking here. He either just blocks with Lysandra and nothing happens, or he has a trick that makes this horrible. So.
The Watchers.
I'd like to know what happens if we Spirit's Journey our own Kindred. Can make him come back with 4 health. We'll be okay. We have the mana to do cool stuff if we play the Undying. Don't think so. It's always about just having mana to do cool stuff. if you weren't familiar with how things go. Okay, interesting. More stuff to sacrifice. I guess right on point with this Blighted Caretaker.
They will.
That was fun. Who will we chase now?
Everyone, dear wolf.
So yeah, it does kind of highlight the awkwardness of having this Kindred plus the Blighted Caretaker, but who cares? We're about to smash.
There you are.
We still have the Spirit's Journey to deal with something post combat, so I think it's gonna be pretty top notch.
If they're out there, I'll spot them. I must be known.
Just lethal, 16, one short. Kill him with Blighted Caretaker or Doom Beast. Okay. 5, 7, 8. Kindred's getting his kill here. Do we want to go ahead and play Spirit Leech? Kind of dig.
My saplings.
Cool. Alright.
Its heart beats fast now.
It knows.
What rando unit did we just have die? Did I just miss something? Oh, the thing. Okay. The Spirit Fire dealt 2 damage to everything. Gotcha.
Lovely day for a battle.
Okay, this seems good.
Today,
Yep.
I am feeling great.
We'll just be using the Spirit's Journey here. Okay. Perhaps we will not. This is fine. I think we just have to Caretaker again, right? Again, puts us in this awkward spot to where we spike his small unit, but Kindred's so huge now. I think this is okay. We're in a pretty good spot to just ground this out. Go 2 to everything. It's going to leave us with a Caretaker against some moderately scary stuff. Kindred's still a good attack. Protecting with Spirit Journey. Okay, this is fine.
Light the signal fires.
Can we ever kill him this turn? We like Doom Beast. No, we're gonna be a little bit short. Okay, let's see how this starts.
Pray.
You should watch this.
Okay.
Hand grab.
I just want to get blockers on board. So we're gonna Doom Beast. I'll take him to 2. I'll play Fading Icon to make sure we can block all this stuff without losing our Kindred or our Neverglade Collector. As long as he doesn't have a way to get overwhelmed, then we should be fine.
The other.
Could just try on double Spirit's Journey. I didn't know 3 Sisters was making tombs. Interesting. Okay. Probably need to be hitting bigger units like Doom Beast. I just don't want him to. The only card that worries me here is if he has that like 1 damage AoE from Lysandra to take down the fading icon. Oh no, I needed to hit different ones, didn't I? Fuck. Okay. Awkward. Awkward. Yeah, I mean, I think we're still okay, but I did not anticipate that interaction. This is what you see whenever
Until I'm through.
I have to sit around and play with new cards. It certainly takes me a while to get used to everything. But I think we're still reasonably safe here. He's got a bunch of big dudes next turn, that's fine. We made sure to get enough blockers out here for everything.
Like threading a needle. Tag, you're it.
Guess it doesn't quite matter which goes where, you're just gonna die.
Look upon me.
Okay. Might have lost this one. losing out on that Neverglade Collector was not ideal. We did not play that to perfection.
Its heart beats fast now.
It knows.
I think we just start with this.
We do not linger.
Kill off something. Oh, shoo, no, these Frozen Thralls have Overwhelm. That's going to get us next turn, isn't it?
Die.
Then he's going to come back. How big do you come back? You get 6/6? We have to keep the Spirit's Journey. This is our way to win next turn. This is fine.
Pale slumber.
We can still get him. Fuck, is it going to hit landmarks? That's going to do it, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Oh, do we have a way to deal damage in hand? Or that we can draw? Do we have that? I thought we have a... I thought we had a 2-mana Nightfall thing. Let's see. Let's see if we can... I don't think there's any last breaths that matter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll tick that one off in the shoulda won it box. You certainly messed that up. I haven't played with the Spirit's Journey either, and so that one's another one that's going to take me a while to figure out. I think it's okay, but this one kind of tough. I feel like we may have enough life gain now that we have the 2 Neverglade Collectors as opposed to just like 1. Cursed Keeper is a pretty reasonable pickup. I typically hate this card, but I feel like this is where we're really hurting now, is just having these early game plays. So kind of sucks to trade away a removal spell, but I think I'm on board with it. We just have like so many more ways to kill this thing now. Like it used to just be like, well, you have Ravenous Butcher, or you can play something horrible like a Ancient Crocolith, but now we just have so many different ways to cycle that guy out. And where we've been struggling is just having something to put on the board in the first couple turns. So maybe I'll have to reevaluate how much I hate that card. But this is reasonable. Alright, so at least we do now know that Mask Mother does not get last breath. Now see, you can see that we have the premium Cursed Keeper. Don't think that I did that. That was not something that was my doing. I had one of those like prismatic bags or something that the Cursed Keeper came out of. This was a card that we would never go and level up on our own. Used to hate this thing so much. Alright, this guy's draw's horrible.
behind me. Too slow, stupid.
Alright, we're about to smash.
Oh, fresh soil.
I'm sorry, Ricky, your draw was not very good. I can say that definitively. Your draw was not good. Okay.
My board!
Pretty close here. Kindred, I think we can just run out. He's not going to be in one of these spots to where he can just slam a bunch of units in front of it. Change my mind. Oh,
My move.
okay, he's just going to bring it. I was wanting to last breath this, but I didn't want it to be like, you know, super obvious that we have a big play behind. Now that we know you're just a 4/4, that's pretty cool. Get the aristocrat on board. It's big open. It's not lethal, but getting real close.
Come this way.
There we go. Done. I'm sorry, Ricky. That was not a that was not a way to end your trial. All right, yeah, you can see a little bit more power with that Curse Keeper. He's trying to make his way back in my life. We we used to not have a lot of good times with each other, but it seems like we could be friends now. But okay, nonetheless, let's get rid of the Sapling Toss for Atrocity. This is one of the cards that I was wanting kind of the whole way through. Just, you know, we run into the spots like say against that Talia deck. If we hadn't punted with the Spirit's Journeys, and we'd been able to, you know, he let him get on board, and his units just look better than ours. It would have given us kind of a chance to come back when he has that gigantic board, assuming he didn't have the big overwhelm units. But do we ever want to keep Shark Chariot? Looks like we still have one Sapling Toss, of course the one Hecarim, 2 Blighted Caretakers, and that's the extent. I don't think so. I think we need to get him out of our deck, given an opportunity. Ooh, this hand is trash. Oh man, I gotta see if I got a new card back. I keep forgetting about this. It's tough. These are the mistakes we've been making. Okay, so it's not an ideal Masked Mother, but we can't just take 5. And so if he attacks, certainly bringing it.
Remember me.
Okay, looks like a turn. We'll just have to box whatever he plays. Okay, that has to be better for us than him, right? Against some kind of Noxus deck. Has 2 Kindreds in it, which is awkward, but... Okay.
What does he want from me? Where we go.
They retreat.
Should be good, right?
Tear them apart.
Oh, we should have attacked with the Warden Spray. That was a bit of a slip up. I think we want to hang on to this Glimpse Beyond. We just keep our spell mana banked up because our hand is kind of garbage here. All right, Hecarim about to come down and do his thing.
Embrace life.
Expect death.
Okay.
Hey, slumber.
Hecarim about to come down to do his thing now.
Never one.
Without the other.
Okay, so assuming he oh, we can't get the box down. This is still okay. Probably shouldn't attack with the Warden's Prey. Come to think of it now, since he can, depending on how this plays out, the Kindred can mark up a Hecarim, which would be a bit of a problem. So if he has like some kind of slay for one of our smaller units, yeah, attacking with this Warden's Prey was a mistake. But, oh, okay. Yeah, planned it that way. Planned it that way. He's gonna kill the Warden's Prey in combat, and it marked up one of our horses.
Never play fair.
The hunt begins.
Probably, well, just take it. Can't attack again with Katarina, which would be kind of awkward, but
Violence solves
I think our Hecarim is our path to victory here, and we just need to keep stuff out on the board. Do this. Comes back. I guess we do have Black Spear. If he comes back down, we can block this Katarina and take down his Kindred. Doesn't seem like he really has a lot of ways to activate this Kindred, though, outside of killing our stuff in combat.
never play fair.
I think we'd rather just hit her with the box now that we have 2 units. Let him attack first.
Tear them apart.
Okay. I don't think we messed this up too hard, right? I guess that's where we want to be, is to kill off this Katarina. Don't let him get any slays in combat. Our health is still pretty safe. Okay. Sure.
This might hurt.
Alright, so let's at least do cool stuff with the Ether Fiend here now. We want to kill off our smaller unit. The thing we have to watch out for here is if he gets like a strike with Katarina, right? If he plays, there's all these random cards that let you do strikes out of hand. If he's able, we play a removal spell, she strikes something and returns to his hand. That can be kind of awkward for us. But, okay. This board is pretty weak now. Yes, if he just plays like a big boy, then we should just win the game, right? It says play like Armored Elephant here. The elephant has to block Hecarim, but then we're getting in for a shitload of damage. Okay. Alright, so if we kill Katarina, he's going to go up to 10. This thing blocks Hecarim. He's going to take 1 off of Hecarim, and then 6 3s, 9, 10. Okay, I think we're fine. Let's get Katarina out of here. Can't single combat. Cool. Alright. So we're surviving. Did a screenshot of that 420 mastery points we had with the old with the old Kindred. Okay, so I mean, I am cool to get rid of the box for Unspeakable Horror. This is always just like a little bit more expensive than I like it to be. But I guess kind of the flip side with the box is we haven't run against a lot of the Sand Soldiers, but it can be pretty powerful in that sense. So I don't really like Mist Call either. It's not good in this kind of deck. Can I really convince myself to hang on to the box? Just so expensive. Let's just pick up the Unspeakable Horror. Move on. I guarantee we play a 0 this round. That's the way these things always go. you throw away your AoEs, and you play that exact matchup in the next trial. There is quite a bit of a 0 running around. I mean, given that there's so much more likely to show up. Okay, something like this. Nice little curve.
What does he want from me?
Was it Lysandra, Sejuani, Renekton? We'll have to see if it plays out. One of the things I think we tend to see, we're going to see with like Sejuani, Lysandra is
Out of here!
using like the Lysandra AoEs on all of your tough units, and so it should play well with Sejuani. Should play well with even like a Battle Scarsy kind of Braum. We'll have to see if that plays out. It seems much better than whatever the like remaining Lysandra cards would let you do. Create Celestials? Sure.
You cannot!
I'm just gonna dome him. You know, if he wants to play units, then great. If he doesn't have them, then take the damage. And if he has the AoE card, we are hurting. we are hurting if he has the frozen AoE. Yeah, pretty healthy chunk of damage. Glad we survived that turn. Then we could technically pick up a sapling with the Scribe of Sorrows, which would be good next turn. See what happens. Also kind of interested in just banking and playing Kindred.
Strength and grace, beauty in the blade.
So this just looks like a Blighted Caretaker.
On guard!
Okay. Now I'm real interested in what we hit with this Scribe. Caretaker, good.
There you are!
Picked up the Sea Scarab. This is always an interesting one to see. Such, you know, we haven't had a whole lot of trouble hitting deep with our deck, and you know, getting a 3/4 or 4/5 for 2 mana is a pretty good deal. You want to add anything else? Probably not. What kind of value blocks does he get onto the Caretaker? If we want to do this, no, we want to get the damage in. He can have it.
Like my blade?
Yeah, well, here's our boy. What up, Eclipse Dragon? It's been a while. We'll see. I don't foresee us getting him on the board this game, but he's one of our oldest friends. But do have the real decisions coming up. He just does nothing. I'm not cool with just to do nothing. Let's add. Now we can bank 3 and I'm okay with it. We don't need to rush this Kindred out here. He has to respond now because we're lethal if he doesn't. How does this mana even play out? I have to imagine we want to get our Kindred down next turn, but we also just want to be like open attacking, and then we can just clean up with Black Spear Kindred. I think that's okay. Sure. It's interesting picking up the 2-drop. Being able to like kill the Undying. Do we just play for value here? So close to just killing him though. Maybe we can get a Black Spear kill. But we're so close. We're so close just killing with Kindred. This is okay. I think we'll go for a Black Spear kill. Oh. Oh man. Better lucky than good, am I right? Okay. Okay, so I mean, this is just gonna take him to 1. A little unfortunate we didn't get we didn't get a little more love out of that Blighted Caretaker, but or out of that Neverglade Collector, but this is okay. We're right there.
Please.
Sure. Should probably flip those blocks so he put less damage on his Wild Claw.
Save my day.
Okay. Seems reasonable. I mean, you get this Masked Mother into Kindred kind of turn. If he opens, I'd feel really great about this turn. We're just gonna take it. This is one of these spots where it's too bad for us if he if we block with the Scribe. This looks like the the ideal block, and then he plays Brittle Steel. Then we're down another unit. So when we're just trying to punch in this 3 damage, we don't want to just lose a unit to a spell. We want him to have to actually put units on the board. Okay. Said F you to all our plans. That's okay.
Never one.
Without the other.
Don't quite approve of that. Okay, so coming in to the next turn, I think we just open. We can still do this like Kindred Spirit Leech kind of thing. Oh, we drew Hecarim though. It's too good. When we're adding 1 unit and he's, we were technically adding 3 units and he's only adding 1. I think this is a decent spot to not open. Because even if he has like a Harsh Winds and this still, he blocks all of our big boys, this is still lethal.
Carved from the savage cold.
Find the beginning.
Okay. He's gonna have at least another card, right? If he blocks our 2 big boys and Hecarim Masked Mother, he needs another 2 Flash Freezes to stop this damage. Got the Harsh Winds, okay. Takes him to 1, but he loses his Wild Claw. Sejuani about to flip? No. Okay.
Born for conquest.
I'm gonna get this in here. Oh. Battle Fury. Which is that? 13. Guess we're blocking. Is he gonna have another +3? Why would he? Oh, well, you have to do it pre-combat because I'll just take the damage.
Never won.
I think we're safe, right? Unless he has like a relentless pursuit.
Its heart beats fast now.
It knows.
Get nervous. I don't know. The Lysandre AoE does do one to everything. I guess that's another route. Okay. Whew. That one felt a little closer than I wanted it to be.
Hunt it down.
With grace and precision.
Right, let's get ready for that final battle. It's a little better than I expected. I didn't think we were going to do this well. But here, I'm happy with the 2 collectors. We really only want one. And then, whenever we're talking about playing like Callista, I talk a lot about playing 3 Blighted Caretaker way up here, 3 Neverglade Collector, 1 Rekindler, and then 3 Callistas. And then that's your deck, right? You don't really care what the rest of it is. Just make a reasonable curve and get some removal spells, and you got a deck that's able to go to 7. But the difference in there is that, Callista is so much cheaper and doesn't take any mana to work. And so, it comes down to it with Callista. You can just play her on the 3rd turn and not attack, and your opponent has to start playing real weird and real not aggressive to deal with Callista. That doesn't really apply with this Kindred, I don't think. And so, he's much slower. We have to kind of set up these boards to where, he's good the turn we play. You got to do some stuff with this guy. And so, I think I'm good with 2 Neverglade Collectors as opposed to trying to pick up a 3rd one. So we'll skip that. I want to keep our 1 Atrocity. I want to keep our Spirit Leech. I'm still happy with our card advantage suite. Don't really want to change it. Okay, and then I can't trade any of these. We're looking for cheaper cards, not more expensive. So those are all pretty easy skips. I love it when Rasa is a pretty easy skip. I think I might like the Aether Fiend more than Rasa. Even just doesn't take any setup. Here, we can skip all these again. This is all expensive stuff. Okay, man, I gotta keep my Cursed Keeper. I think this is finally a deck to where I'm happy with this. Or even if it's not just so much this deck, that there's so much more support for this kill your own units theme. When the Cursed Keeper is your only target for a lot of stuff, that kind of sucks. But adding in, Fading Icon really makes Cursed Keeper a lot better, right? Because if you have these draws to where the thing that was always awful about Cursed Keeper was like you play it on turn 2, you attack, and your opponent just ignores it until like turn 7. And it's really awkward getting like the right density of kill your own unit stuff. And adding Fading Icon just to have another unit that you can sacrifice stuff to. Pretty good. But all things aside, I think we can skip all these. And our last choice, we're gonna skip all these as well. None of these trades really lined up. I could arguably pick up a 3rd Caretaker, but maybe that's where we're willing to go. I don't think so. Let's just skip it. I think we're in a good spot. Okay, final battle. Ooh. So yeah, I'm glad that we've had the raw power just to get this far. I've certainly messed up quite a few plays, and that's. I hope you all don't beat yourselves up for that, especially at the beginning of an expansion. It always takes me, a while to understand the interactions. I'm not one of these people that can just immediately know how things work. I'm one of those people that has to get their reps in, and I don't really feel comfortable with stuff until I've gotten to play a few dozen games. Whenever it came being good at Magic, the formats that I could be good at were like when I would find a deck I really liked, and then I could just play like 500 or 1,000 games of it and be having a good time the whole way through. And so it's a little bit different for me when there's a lot of people that have different styles or whatever, and for me, I just have to be able to just play a ton of games with something and not get bored of it and enjoy it the whole way through. But it seems like a reasonable start for us. We at least shut down his open.
In position.
Yep. He knows. I make this play a lot as well. What you tend to find is, when are you ever going to get value out of that, that what she called, and then, how is he going to have trouble with this game? It's like if we're getting a Blighted Caretaker going, then he's going to have trouble. So, Atlas Aristocrat just shut this dude down. We ever get a Shark Chariot attack in? It doesn't seem like it. Okay. Can't even play Renekton this turn, though. I guess he could have hit us like one LeBlanc. There's an argument to keep Black Spear mana up, because our intent next turn is just to play Chronicler of Ruin. But I think this is fine. I'm happy to lean towards the aggressive side of things here. So I think the 3-1 unit on board would be much better. Alright, don't care what he plays, 100% attacking with everything. Okay. Get that big old LeBlanc now. Have to flip too.
So obvious.
Okay, so we are lined up for
Into
a
life.
Black Spear onto her next turn. I don't think I'm super worried about these mirror images. Then hopefully we can close this out with a Hecarim Shark Chariot kind of attack. Okay, cool. That's who was going to block anyways.
Surprised to see me.
Whoa. Okay. So the Shark Chariot's coming down, the Black Spear's coming out. Do we want to get any more units? I think we're fine here.
Seeing you.
Of course, the Collector shows up.
Shadow approaches. Anything for the right coin.
Okay. Lethal.
I'll make this quick.
Got him. Alright, good game, friend. So cool, good stuff. Didn't even need our Kindred there in the end. The Hapless Aristocrat is just so good against those opens, though. This is why it really surprised me that they felt the need to nerf Legion Rearguard. Maybe it's just because I'm so just play Expedition and that was oppressive and constructed, but it's just like there's so many of these. Oh, sorry to blind you. There's so many of these kind of like value plays that you make. Like, yeah, how do I get this out of here? Oh, okay. The Lord Guardian got a little bit upset. We got it fixed though. But no, the thing with Legion Rearguard was like there's so many of just these like Hapless Aristocrat and even the Last Breath guy and Warden's Prey. Like every faction has these like early game Last Breath plays, and it's like so hard to be a good early game 1 health unit unless you provided some kind of value. But you know, some people don't like getting burnt out. That's what you tend to see as being a problem there. But nonetheless, I thought this was a pretty good start with Kindred. You know, again, I don't know the exact numbers and the you know, exact this and that we're looking for. But of course, like, you know, the big things I think we want to look at for this card pool are, you know, if you're able to just be 100% Shadow Isles, then that's always very powerful. We see that with all the Nocturnes. We see that with all the Callistas, that if you're able to, you know, take a Nocturne Maokai or Callista Maokai or even just like a Callista Elise, there's so many good Shadow Isles only combos. And that, in my opinion, it's to a degree that there's just so many bad cards in Shadow Isles, and so you can tend to get like really hamstrung if you're in a second faction, and then you know you see this pack come up that you know had like Cursed Keeper Sapling Toss in it, and you know we might be changing our tune on Cursed Keeper, but historically that was like a horrible pack, and or you know here's a like a Noxus pack, a pack with Pesky Spectre in it, and then like one good Shadow Isles pack. And so, you know, the thing that was always tough with like navigating Callista or navigating Nocturne was just making sure that you just didn't end up with a pack full of garbage. And so that was what I think was good here about taking Hecarim was, you know, we knew we could be 100% Shadow Isles. We knew that there was going to be like packs with pesky specters and garbage in it, and we could just ignore them. And so I know you can't do that every trial, but that is, you know, something kind to think of when you're trying to draft a Shadow Isles deck is, you know, in my opinion, Shadow Isles is the most high risk, high reward faction. There's a lot of high roll that goes into playing Shadow Isles, and because there are so many just complete duds. And so do keep that in mind. But, you know, the other thing here, the only thing I really want to call out and feel comfortable calling out with Kindred here at this point are, you know, making sure you have the right mix of early game plays. And, of course, the big one being Hapless Aristocrat. I'm not 100% certain if I want to push this up to a star instead of a check mark. At least in this format, he should probably be a star since there's going to be so many of those 3/1s for 1 mana like we ran into in that last game. but just in the kind of general sense, the big thing that we're able to do now is have Hapless Aristocrat, Fading Icon. These are the new big boys that can come down and actually block and give you something to sacrifice, and then let you really take advantage of all of the self-sacrifice cards. And so, this combo, whenever you get into Kindred, this is going to be the big thing, is finding the Hapless Aristocrats and the, who were you called again? Where'd you go? Fading Icon. Those will be the big things. Then you're also happy to pick up Warden's Praise, Cursed Keepers, and I was completely delighted with the Undying. There's some very specific decks where the Undying is good. There's some decks where he just tends to fall super flat, and this is a deck where he was super good. And so that's what the things I want to call out, and what you should probably just be doing in these drafts, especially if it's just like your first Kindred draft, is really tier this out to where, ask yourself if the pack has one of these early game plays. Does it have an Aristocrat, a Warden's Prey, a Cursed Keeper, a Undying, or a I'll never remember this, a Fading Icon? That's just going to be, kind of your ultra important things to go pick up. I guess, kind of tier 2 would be like, does this have a removal spell? And then your tier 3 would be like, well, does it have one of these sacrifice effects? Is this like a Mask Mother, a Chronicler of Ruin, a Spirit Leech, a Glimpse Beyond? I didn't like Spirit's Journey, but that's an option. Just a way to really activate your Kindred without being in combat. And so I think that's where I'll have to leave you with this one. I don't have ultra in-depth strategy. I'll have to get another trial or two under my belt before I feel really confident in Kindred. But those were the things that felt good. Make sure you have those early game plays, those early game units that you can sacrifice to something. Pick up a reasonable set of removal spells, because you are going to be a slower, more kind of control-y deck. And then at the very end, if those 2 points are failing you, pick up your sacrifice theme and your Chronicler of Ruins, your Remitters, and the like. But that will do it for us today, as it has been here at the beginning of the season. We got all the rewards to click on. Let's see if we pick up some cool stuff along the way. I think Promising Future is going to be garbage. I haven't fully decided on what I think of Promising Future, but it doesn't feel like any of the landmarks are strong enough to warrant an effect like that. I could be wrong. Granted, I'm not real used to playing with the landmarks, but I think I'm right in that sense. All right, some of that prismatic juice. What do we got here? Icon. I think I got a card back. Can I go and change expedition loadouts without being in a trial? Hang on, we gotta find this out. Looks like I gotta push the embark button, so probably not. All right, so last but not least, the golden chest. Get some stuff, some commons, some keep us from having to go and craft a card before we make it premium. Good stuff. But all right, yeah, that is going to do it for us today. I hope you all learned how to kill your own units just a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.